All right, hello everyone. This is the fourth episode for the second edition of BXBoost, where in the month of November, up to 5 artists, including myself, will run a month-long campaign to launch our first release through crowdfunding. The initiative is organized by GrowFunding, a Brussels-based non-profit organization in collaboration with the music hub Ancien Belgique and music venue Volta on the other side of the city. Joining me on this microphone is Flavio Rio, a vocalist and singer-songwriter originally from Rome, but now based in another capital, Brussels, since 2015. Welcome, Flavio.
Hey, Ruben. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. I think we saw each other on last Friday on stage. It was a really nice show. We just got word that we got like the money in from the show, because like the show was with the 5 artists from the GrowFunding campaign, and the profits were going to the artists, and we each got like 272 euros, I think, for the campaign. So that's really nice news.
Amazing,
to
right?
Start this podcast. And it was also really nice to see everybody turning up, I think, you know?
Yeah, it was so nice. Just to check everyone's project. We're so different, but at the same time, the evening was very, very organic and successful, I would say, no?
Yeah, it was really successful, I think. Volta is like a really nice place. They have like a new place now in Molenbeek, and I never been there before, and I really enjoyed it to be there, also on stage, joining with 4 other artists. And like you say, it was like really a mix of different genres. My English is not my native language, but
it's perfect.
But talking about your musical journey, because I saw you had like a band on stage where you did like some original music. You already have an EP out, but I was wondering, like, from where comes this like musical drive? From where did it start? Do you remember something, or where is like the originated from?
Yeah, you see, this Flavio Rio project is a pretty new adventure, starting out in 2023 after the whole pandemic, you know.
Okay.
I think it gave birth to many ideas for all of us. And I remember I was in Rome during the first part of the pandemics, and I remember just writing a lot, questioning a lot on what have been done before the pandemics, and what I was starting to give shape to something else. I remember pretty clear writing a lot of lyrics, and from those lyrics I started to then put my hands on piano and on different instruments that I have in Rome, and coming up with some ideas. But for me, this project is really like the continuation of what I used to listen to as a teenager.
All right.
Which is a bit more like pop and soul music, but like taken to a more contemporary way of doing it and sound.
Yeah, because I always also read on your GrowFunding page that you are also a vocal teacher.
Yeah.
And tell me about it. Like, how long are you been singing, and how did you get like the knowledge to like also give it to other people?
Yeah.
Like,
It's always been with me somehow. I mean, my parents told me I've always kind of sung, but let's say that at 16 I had my first singing class. I remember it was in Rome, and
you did the singing class, or
I went to, and from that moment on, I never stopped having, you know, teachers or coaches, and then it was conservatory, so a lot of knowledge that not necessarily I wanted to have, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a lot of knowledge, and then I tried to take the distance from all this knowledge, and then I figured it out myself. Then on stage, the voice I use and the technique is really how can we say that, a mix of different things. It's not like just one, you know, or one.
And it's like, it's also really interesting to see a voice as like a kind of instrument, that you have to learn how to use it. I'm not a good example. I started rapping and then singing, but from a young age I started using autotune, so I never really learned how to sing. And I remember like my sister sings very well, but I always thought that it was like you had it or you don't have it, Like, but the older I get, the more I get to know that you can really like train it and be better singer.
For sure, you can, and it's incredible the progress you can get even after a couple of months of training.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I have it with my students. I'm always
okay. Nice. You're a proud teacher.
I'm a proud teacher.
So, but going back to like the music, is I think you said in 2023 you discovered, I really want to do something with lyrics. I was writing, I started making melodies, piano, and then I think you made an EP.
Yeah. I did a first EP. It was really like witnessing those first creations back in 2023. I talk about it as if it was like 5 years ago. No, it's just like 1 year ago. But the time between things to creations is always feels longer. And it's still there. It's out. So sometimes I even go back to listen to it to really also get to get a point of view of where I am standing now.
Yeah. It's like a document.
It's a document. I really like what you say. Like I see those creations as a document of a certain time, and it's fine even if some things you will do that again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm learning to be more kind.
Okay, that's good. But I also heard a lot of times you talk about you going back to Rome, write lyrics. Is there like a thing that when you go back visiting like friends, family, you get like a bit more inspiration, or because is Brussels also some place you get inspired by, or
Yeah, for sure. I would say like very generically, like movement gives me a lot of inspiration.
Okay.
Italy is of course a place where I can
there is a lot of movements.
There's also a lot of movement.
I
can easily go, like I have the luck to have a place there, but every time I travel, every time I change the scene, I get very inspired quite easily.
But I think that's nice. Like for me also, I'm a big mover. Like I really like to be on the go, on the way. Like I work here in Brussels, but I work in Antwerp.
Yeah.
I still like a lot of friends and family in Leuven. I really enjoy in the weekends going place to Leuven, to Brussels, to Antwerp. Like it's nice to move, and it also gives you some time, like in the train. That's, for example, that's my favorite time. Is just sitting on the train. When I can like finish things off. But enough about me. We're going further with I think your project now with crowdfunding. I saw you were working on a new album.
Yeah.
And you, in what phase are you now, and where do you gonna use this support from the GoFundMe page from?
Yeah, so it's pretty much an early stage, meaning that I booked some days in the studio to start working on the first couple of singles. So it's really production time. I've wrote lyrics, I've wrote music. So I'm just waiting for the musicians to make the magic, All
right.
Including myself. I hope to make magic too. But it's that kind of stage where everything is still possible.
And are you like, do you write your lyrics?
Yeah.
How does, because that's, I think, interesting maybe, like how does a Flavio Rio production studio session or like song creation goes? Like, what's the process?
Yeah, I've always tried. I learned a lot from last EP experience. I try not to rush things. So until I'm really satisfied with lyrics, I always leave myself a little, space for adjustments. But until I'm satisfied with lyrics and music, I don't even try or think of booking a studio.
Okay.
We know how much, it costs in terms of times, energy. So, like then I love to surround myself with people who can contribute. I love to have external ears and eyes on the production itself. But it's hard. It's hard because you have a lot of opinions.
That's interesting, because I'm used to like do everything on my own in my bedroom,
right?
And never like really. One time I did like with a good friend of mine, Gon Eiken, who is like also a sound engineer, and we worked together a bit. But before, I always did everything on my own. So it's also really nice to hear, like, you can also like ask people to help you and build something together. And that's also for me, this project, really nice to see how does like the processes are so different, but you can learn from each individual a bit more. So the campaign on GrowFunding is live now. The goal is to get to 2,000 euros and maybe a bit more. Do you have like an idea of where the money, you mentioned studio sessions, you mentioned artists, you mentioned what is like the goal, and what are you going to do with the money when it's on your bank account?
So for sure the first 2 singles need a little bit of boost.
All right.
So I would definitely put this money on to the production of these 2 singles, of course, paying off all the musicians that will contribute, the studio engineering, for mixing, for mastering, for recordings. That's the fairest of things. And then let's see if it's going to be a bit more. Also, we were thinking with the other artists of maybe donating a little part to this Palestine cause, which is very hard, very, very hard, and also very dear to our hearts. But yeah, concerning the project, that would be my out goal.
Okay. But I think for everyone that I already interviewed, it's like really the production sides to take some of that like cost away from your own money. A lot of times. So
it's a big relief already, right?
Yeah, that you can just
relief.
And also because it's a bit difficult when you really want to pay the other people's the people that help you, but in the other way, it's your own money most of the times, and it's really hard like to save up and to put everything in music, because you get a lot from it back. But like I mentioned before in the other podcasts, you have to live, you have bills to pay. So but I think we're on a good way with the campaign now. Tell me, you have some rewards for it. What do you get for 10 euros if you donate 10 euros to the Flavio Rio campaign?
For 10 years, you guys will have my eternal gratitude and also a personalized card with a little message written by your truly Flavio.
Right.
And I think that's pretty much it.
And then also early access to the singles.
Right. You see, you know better than me.
I have a computer in front of me, so
voila.
Easier.
Cheaty. I will always give access to the donators, an early access to the singles when they come out. Yeah.
And then for 25?
For 25, there will be also a physical copy of my last EP, False Lights, coming up to your door. And all the rewards that were already in the 10 euros. Yeah.
All right. And then for 50 euros, I see a individual singing lesson.
Yeah, I wanted to get a bit more ambitious with this 50 euros donation. And also, I think it's nice for someone to just explore their own voice. And you can be able to do that for 50, yes.
Okay, nice. And then for 75?
For 75, there will also be some exclusive content that I will film. I will really try my best to film in the studio or while making these recordings, sharing maybe tips about vocal warming up in the studio or about...
I think that's a really... Because I was like also asking how does a a studio session with you looks like. And I think also because you have all this knowledge, and it's maybe nice for other artists or people that are singing to also follow how you work. So I think that's a good one.
Yeah,
for them.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I sometimes I give it for granted, but indeed there's a lot of care that I take when I have to record vocals, you know.
All right, and then for 100 euros.
For 100 euros, there will be another work of art, let's say, that I'd like to make myself, which is a poster with the lyrics, handwritten lyrics of the album, and maybe a personal note on it, also signed by me. And that would be really... ambitious for me myself as well, because it's something that I enjoy doing, graphics. And I think it's a little unique piece to have.
All right. And then the last one, the I'm in one, it's 200 euros.
Yeah. And then for 200, you'll be able to join a vocal workshop over a weekend that I give every 2 months. It will be in Brussels, so it's maybe more for people who are Brussels-based. And it would really be also meeting nice people, making exercises together, really creating small community.
Okay, I think that's for the listeners. I won't wait to book it. I think it sounds really nice. To end this podcast, I really want you to take the camera and say to the people who you are and why you want people to give you some money for the project.
Yeah, I will.
So
I'll try my best. So guys, I'm Flavio Rio. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm a vocalist. I'm based in Brussels, originally from Italy. I'm about to produce my first debut album, and I really would love your contribution and your support, which means the world, means a lot more than you can ever imagine. Even a small donation will be of really big help for this project. So don't hesitate. There are some nice rewards waiting for you. And just check it out.
All right. I think that's a good ending. And we hear some police sirens.
Yeah, it's always with us, you know.
Yeah.
We're in Brussels, in the city, man.
Yeah, it's a mad city, but a good city to have a lot of movement also.
A lot of movement and noise.
Yeah. But the noise makes you think of maybe creating some melodies with it, you know?
Also, it's a lot of imagination, right?
Yeah. All right. But thank you for listening. Thank you, Flavio.
Thank you, Ruben, for having me.
Yes.
This small chat was really nice.
Yeah, and I would say arrivederci.
Oh, thanks a lot. Au revoir.
Au revoir. Ouais.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.